So what are the costs of importing and shipping that you need to consider? Hint: it's a lot more than just the shipping. Let's start at the beginning, in the factory or the wholesaler in your country of origin where the goods are coming from. First of all, inspection. If you're buying from a supplier abroad, you probably won't get to see the goods before they're shipped, so paying a specialist inspection company could be well worth it. Then we've got loading. Yes, you've paid for the van to pick the stuff up, but does that include loading the van? It might not. It could take a couple of hours for a few men with forklifts to load a truck, and at a minimum, you'll be paying for the extra waiting time of the truck to be loaded. Definitely check if your van that you hire has its own forklift, or if you're expected to have that ready and manned. The next cost is the truck to the port. Yeah, you'll have to pay for trucks to get the goods to the port or the airport. Then you've got export customs clearance, paperwork and possible export custom taxes. Then we have the cost of preparing and loading onto the plane or the ship. This might include palletization, putting your boxes onto pallets. It might include loading the container, also known as stuffing the container. And that's when we get to the actual sea or air transportation, the main international cost. This is the most obvious of the costs, but it's only one amongst many. Even after you've paid for that transportation of the ship or the plane, there probably will still be fuel surcharges. This is a variable extra cost paid to the sea or the air transporter to account for the continuously changing price of fuel compared to when they gave you the quote. After the main transportation, there's then the cost of unloading and maybe port handling charges. Then we come on to a big one, import customs duty. This will be paid to the government of the destination country, and it depends on what the goods are and where they're from. Very similar, but different, is import VAT, value added tax, which is another tax. Usually it's a flat percentage of the delivered cost. It's also possible you'll incur duty deferment fees. So if you are using a freight forwarder, for example, to pay your customs duty themselves, to pay them for you, and then you're going to pay them back later, there will be a fee to use that service of theirs. Another cost would be something like import certification fees, a general phrase for the possibility that the import authorities will want to validate your cargo and charge you for giving you a certificate or stamp to say so. Then we have the cost of a truck to get it from the port to maybe an intermediate warehouse. If you're not sending the goods directly to the shop or you're using a hub warehouse before final distribution, then you'll also be paying for intermediate warehousing. And if applicable, you'll be paying for their handling and storage charges. Then of course there's the cost of the final destination delivery, to get the truck to where you finally want the goods to be, maybe your shop. That's the end of the import logistics. Now start the inventory management and inventory holding costs, but that's a whole other thing. Whatever part of the logistics process you're doing yourself or paying other companies to do, check what's included and ask them directly about what isn't included or others' expected costs so you don't get caught by surprise.